Guys, welcome back to my channel. Excuse the crazy hair, I just washed my hair, so I haven't really done anything to it, but I think it looks pretty good for having just washed it. All right guys, so as you can see by the title, this is going to be a Barbie's beauty battles video. I have not done a Barbie's beauty battle video since 6 years ago. I think I was gonna start, okay, this is the story behind these videos. I was gonna start this series a really long time ago on my channel. I would say at least like 5 or 6 years ago, probably in 2015. If I remember, I'll link the video that I did up here in the cards so you guys can see it. I compared the e.l.f. makeup remover wipes with the Aveeno makeup remover wipes. I still remember that. And actually what I wanted to do was make it a series. But you know how when you have a series, like you gotta be really on top of that stuff and you gotta have the products and you gotta make sure. So I guess at that moment I wasn't ready for it, and that was the only video I did that was called Barbie's Beauty Battles. I'm gonna do this one now. I'm not really gonna promise anything, to be honest with you, because say, oh yeah, I'm gonna start this series again, and then I don't do it. The only one that I've stuck with pretty good has been Mascara Monday. Mascara Monday is almost every Monday. It isn't really every single Monday, but it's almost every Monday. And for the month of June, it's gonna be every Monday. So as you guys have seen, I've kept up with that. So I'd love to bring Barbie's Beauty Battles back, but I wanna make sure that I'm gonna do it. I don't wanna promise, you know what I mean? And then not do it. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about sponges, like makeup sponges. So the two sponges that I love are the Real Techniques complexion sponge and the e.l.f. Total Face sponge. I have never been a fan of like the beauty blenders. I've never really even had a beauty blender. They're way too expensive in my opinion. And I always went for the Real Techniques sponge. Number one, because of the price. And number two, it worked just as good. So now I wanted to kind of compare, which it would have been nice if I would have done like a certain product on my face or something with this sponge. Now that I'm thinking of it, I think that's something that I should have done, and I could have compared like on one side using the e.l.f. beauty sponge and the other side using the Real Techniques beauty sponge. But we're just gonna keep it at that because makeup is already done, and yeah. That's pretty much it for that. All right, so starting with the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, I wanted to show you guys a clean one. So this is what the sponge looks like. Okay, it has this slant right here, and it usually comes in like this orangey color, very cute. It has the logo on it. This retails at Ulta for $5.99, okay? So that's a really, really, really good price for a beauty sponge. So this, I'm going to read to you what it says on the Ulta website about this sponge so you guys can kind of understand. So this is called the Miracle Complexion Sponge, and this is designed with a latex-free foam technology to evenly blend liquid foundation for a smooth, enhanced finish. The benefits are that it has an antimicrobial infusion to keep the skin healthy. The foam technology fights off everyday growth of bad stuff that comes from old makeup, dead skin cells, and more. This blends well. It gives you airbrush looks. These are the claims. And then you could use it wet or dry. So the flat edge is supposed to be to contour around the eyes and the nose. And the round sides are to blend the large areas of the face with a dabbing motion. The precision tip, which is this, okay, so the round sides are these for like foundation and stuff like that. And the precision tip is to cover blemishes and imperfections. To be honest with you, I've always used this side for the foundation. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm doing that wrong or if would be a reason why a foundation wouldn't come out right, but that's how I've always used it. I didn't really know that this was actually to contour. Since I don't really contour, whatever. And I don't know, it just seemed to me like this was the side for foundation. So that's what I've done. On the other hand, we also have the e.l.f. face sponge, which is kind of the same. Okay, so I'm gonna read to you the things about the e.l.f. sponge, and then we're just gonna compare and stuff like that. So this is called the Total Face Sponge. This retails for $6. So it's pretty much the same price because $5.99 and $6 is the same thing. These are the claims for the e.l.f. Beauty Sponge. So it is a plush multi-sided makeup sponge for flawless blending of your favorite e.l.f. products because it's from e.l.f. It says it's multi-purpose. It's made with soft latex-free foam, which is the same as the Real Techniques. The angled sides are to hug the curves of the face for smooth and streak-free blending. The precision point is perfect for concealing imperfections, which is just like the Real Techniques. It works with liquid and powder products. You can use it wet or dry. And it's 100% vegan and cruelty-free worldwide. It's free from phthalates, parabens, nonylphenol ethoxylates, triclosan, triclocarbon, and hydroquinone. So this is the e.l.f. Beauty Sponge. We already see that they're pretty much the same price. However, what I have noticed is that with the e.l.f. sponge, you can find it in a dual pack. Like this. And the dual pack costs you $10. So at the end of the day, the beauty sponges are $1 less than what the Real Techniques complexion sponge is. I have not found this one in like a 2-pack or anything like that. It might come in like that. I really don't know. I didn't really research it, but I usually can get these for 10 bucks. So it's $5 a pop. And this one is $6 for just one. Obviously, if you buy this one alone, it's also $6. So in that range, I like the e.l.f. one a little bit better. Now let's compare size. So there is a significant difference in the size of these. As you can probably tell, I don't know if you guys can really tell there, but the Real Technique one is a little bit longer. Now they look the same. So the size is pretty much the same. If you look at it here, it would seem that the Real Techniques one is a little bit longer and the e.l.f. one is a little bit thicker. But to be honest with you, they're literally like the same thing. If you really look at them, they're the same thing. This is where you will probably be able to tell a difference. Can you? I don't think you guys would be able to tell that. Like they literally look the same on camera. However, when you look at them here, you can tell that the Real Techniques one is a little bit higher up and this one is a little more rounded, which are just like technical things. When you squeeze them, now both of these are dry right now. So when you squeeze them, the e.l.f. one feels a lot softer, a lot, like it's pleasant. This one feels more foamy. And supposedly this is a foam, they're both foam that is latex free, but for some reason the e.l.f. one just feels that much better and that much softer. So when you're working with products on your face, it just feels that much more comfortable. This one feels more foamy in the sense like it's more difficult. I'm gonna go wet them and then all right guys, so here are both sponges wet. Tell me if you can see a difference. I can see it. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. It looks the same on camera, but maybe when I edit it, I will be able to see. As you can see, the e.l.f. one is a lot more wider and the Real Techniques one is a lot more like thinner. Can you guys see that? Here they look kind of pretty much the same. The e.l.f. one is just a little tad more rounder. But they are pretty much the same in that sense. I don't know if that's good or bad or what it is. It was easier for me to get the water in this and wring it out very easily than it was for this one. This one was a lot harder. I had to squeeze a lot more to get the water out. Like I told you, it's a lot more foamy than the e.l.f. one. I don't really know if that is a good thing or bad thing because it could technically mean that the e.l.f. one is gonna get in worse conditions quicker than the Real Techniques one, but that isn't really necessarily the case the case because I've been using the e.l.f. sponge for a while. These are new, but I've been using them. I use them all the time, and I absolutely love this sponge. I have yet for one to break, whereas my Real Techniques ones, which I always used religiously before I learned about this sponge. I learned about the sponge in a makeup class. So before I learned about the e.l.f. sponge, I used to use this religiously, and this one was definitely, it would definitely get ruined quicker than this one because I've been using the e.l.f. sponge like religiously since January after that makeup class, and I have yet to have one that has gotten ruined. That sense, I don't know. In terms of blending, I like both of them, but I definitely would have to say that I feel like the e.l.f. one blends more effortlessly because of the softness to it. I don't know what it is, but in my opinion, this one blends better and more effortlessly because of that softness it has with it. It's easy to maneuver. It's just easier. I don't know. I don't know what it is. This one, it does an amazing job because I love Real Techniques, but in that case, I'd rather go with the e.l.f. one. In the case of this part right here, I don't know if the Real Technique one, the Real Technique ones might be better in this precision tip because since the e.l.f. one gets so thick, it becomes a little more difficult to get into like those crevices. Whereas the Real Technique one, you see what I'm saying? Like the Real Technique one is easier to get into that area where this one is like huge, you know? So in that case, I would prefer the Real Techniques because for precision, you need something to be smaller, skinnier, thinner, etc. I always apply my liquid foundation with the slanted part. Now I learned that it's like for contouring here. If I were to use the slanting for contouring, I would imagine that I would prefer the Real Techniques because of the thinness, you know? But since I use this for my foundation, the e.l.f. works great. I mostly use my sponges dry, which makes it that much worse on this one to be used because of the foamy part. Like I told you, it's very hard. This is easier when it's wet to use it. But I definitely use them mostly dry. And dry, I prefer the e.l.f. one because it's, you see, this is a dirty one. It's just as soft. So dry, I prefer an e.l.f. one as well. I've never really blended any type of like, what do you call it? Like any type of blush or anything like that, or contour or highlight or anything with these sponges. I've always used them for concealer, for foundation. Now, if I were to use the e.l.f. sponge dry for concealer, it works perfectly fine because it's not as huge, and it works great for me. It works amazing. I absolutely love it. Now, I don't know if maybe I should do like a liquid blush test on my face. Should I? I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it with this one here. Let's use this Wet n Wild cheek and lip tint in Kiss Me If You Can. And I'm just gonna apply like a streak on my face. I'm just gonna do something along those lines. And the same thing on the other side, right? They look pretty even. And I'm gonna see which one of these blends it better. I think I'm gonna use the tip for this so that way it can be a little bit more precise. So I'm gonna go, I'm not gonna blend them at the same time, but I'm gonna go with my e.l.f. on this side and then with the Real Techniques on this side. And then let's see. What do you guys think? I still see a streak. Let's see here. This is what I notice. So it definitely took me a lot more to blend with the Real Techniques than it did with the e.l.f. However, if you guys notice, okay, this is the Real Technique side. This is the e.l.f. side. I don't know if you guys are gonna pick up what I'm picking up, but this is how I see it. It did take me a lot more to blend the Real Techniques, like a lot more effort, but I feel like the Real Techniques blended that blush better than the e.l.f. side did. And I feel like there's more product left, like more blush. And here it's kind of like if the sponge took some of it off. Do you guys pick that up, or do you guys see them the same? Let me know, because from what I'm seeing, the Real Techniques did a little bit more of a better job with the blush than the e.l.f. did. And this video is a lot more difficult than what I thought, to be honest with you. Like, if I were to have to pick one of the two, I don't think I'd be able to. I thought I had picked this, but now that I'm doing these comparisons, I'm like, what? Okay, if I had to pick, if I definitely had to pick, I would probably pick the e.l.f. beauty sponge because it's a lot more softer, is a lot more convenient for me. I like the way it works for my concealer and for my foundation. I'm never really the type to blend blush with a sponge. I'm not really that type. So I know that, you know, I'd be using a brush pretty much 100% of the time. I would probably not use a sponge so much. But to be honest, if I had to pick one of the blenders, one of the sponges to blend blush from what I did just now, which was very simple, I would go with the Real Techniques if I had to pick something for blush. But overall, I definitely have to go with the e.l.f. beauty sponge overall, because the price is a little slight, like very slightly, it's not a big deal. It's a lot softer, it's a lot easier to work with. I like what it does with my foundation and my concealer. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Along those lines, I guess I would have to go with my e.l.f. beauty sponge. I want you guys to let me know what you guys think now, because I'm like more confused than ever now. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the e.l.f. beauty sponge. This is so crazy. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you would give this battle to. Who would win this battle for you guys? If you guys have tried both sponges, what you guys think, what you guys like them for, which one do you prefer? I want to hear all about your opinions. So let me know, guys. Let me know what you guys think. All right, my loves, that's it for this Barbie's beauty battle video. Oh my God, this says it's like 22 minutes long. Oh my God, that's crazy. Okay, guys, I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye, my loves.